realm of being psychic. I think everyone does that on occasion. You know, the phone rings and you go, that's Sarah calling me, and it is. Or we feel like, I think I'm just going to turn left at this corner, and we turn left and we see a friend of ours standing there. We go, what a nice coincidence that was. So all of us have psychic episodes, some bigger than others. To move it more into the psychic realm, to me it's like playing a piano. You just practice. You practice being open, you practice being sensitive to the energies around you, you practice listening in your mind to the messages given to you by your guides. I believe we all have guides. You practice being observant in the world. Intuition can be the accumulation of random data into a pattern that makes sense. So it can be just very linear, earth-based intuitiveness. But as intuitiveness moves towards psychicness, the intuition you have wouldn't make sense if you explained it to somebody. I'll give you an example of that, because this is absolutely true in my life. I believe our guides are supposed to help us all the time with like everything. But our guides only help us with what they want to help us with, by the way, because we can't force our guides to help us in an area they do not want to help us in. I asked my guides for the lotto numbers because I figured, why not? They help me in other areas. And instead of giving me the lotto numbers, they showed me a picture of a fish asking for a bicycle. I thought it was very, very funny, but it didn't help me win the lotto. So I had to say, my guides were choosing to withhold the lotto numbers because it was like a fish asking for a bicycle. That was not the path I was meant to be on. That was not in my immediate future. However, and this is absolutely true, and those people who are psychic and psychic workers know this happens like this all the time in funny ways. I said to my guides, I'd like to buy a pair of cowboy boots and I want to spend under $65. Help me find the right pair of boots. So about 2 weeks go by, and I'm driving down 880, and I'm heading into Oakland, and on the right-hand side is a huge flea market. It's Tuesday afternoon, though. It's not the weekend. And I hear in my head my guide voice saying, turn here. And of course, I'm a little bit ornery, and so I'm going, turn here, it's Tuesday, there's not going to be any boot vendors there. Okay, fine, I'm turning. So I turn off the freeway and I go to the flea market and I walk in. And I'm walking around and there are not any boot vendors there. It's a Tuesday afternoon. But there's someone there having their yard sale. And they have 2 pairs of boots, a brown pair and a black pair. And I look down and I look at the guy and I said, can I try those on? And he goes, sure, try them on. I tried them on and they fit. And I said, how much do you want for these? And he goes, you can take both pairs for $35. And I said, sold. And as I'm walking out of the flea market, I'm saying to my guides, thank you so much. I'm sorry I'm so ornery. I swear I'm going to listen more to you. You know, I get it. I need to listen more. Because our guides will talk to us all the time. It's usually us that resist being open, or we misinterpret the message. I was at an event, at a fair, and a young woman came and sat down for a reading. And she was young, and she was beautiful, she was vibrant. And she said to me, I'd like to ask about my health. Now, anyone who would look at her would put together the visual cues, the logic of the situation, and say, darling, you're young, you're beautiful, you're radiant. Oh my God, you're healthy. What the heck do you want to know? However, I asked my guides, what message am I supposed to deliver? I laid out the cards. And the cards, actually an image from one of the cards lifted off the card and hovered above the card. It really drew my attention. And it started out as a rock that came up and it changed into a blood cell. And then it changed into a blood cell that really looked yucky. And again, I'd love it if my guides gave me the words exactly to say the exact disease name or something, but they didn't. That's what they showed me. So I looked at her and I said, I can see you, and you're beautiful, and you're young, and you're vibrant. However, the message I'm here to give you isn't going to match that. It's going to say, you're sick. It's going to say, there's something wrong in your blood or your blood filtering system. It's going to say that there's an allergic reaction to something you're eating or exposed to that's causing this trouble for you. And my logical mind is fighting me every second. I don't even want to say this because, like everyone else, I don't want to be stupid. I don't want to be wrong. However, it's my job to get my ego out of the way and let the message come through. I will tell you, I was reading for a woman, and she said, I'm in love with this guy named Jim, and I want to marry Jim. What do I need to do to get Jim to marry me? Right? It's a valid question. What do I need to do to get Jim to marry me? I'm in love with him. And I said to her, there's nothing you can do to get Jim to marry you. That's up to Jim. Jim is a powerful, sentient being. You cannot take control of him and force him to do something. I said, I will tell you what you can do to create an environment around you that opens the door for a marriage relationship with Jim. But Jim is a sentient being. And she said, well, can't I burn a candle or something to help with that? And I said, I would never, ever tell you to do love magic, because love magic is tricky and it often backfires. It often backfires. But I can tell you what to do with candle magic in order to enhance your ability to be open and loving, which will set the environment for good relationship and good love. Now, not everyone wants to hear that. Some people want to buy the candle and burn it to make Jim love them and marry them. But that is not what we're here karmically for. We're not here to usurp the will of others and force them to do what we want because we want it. We're here to learn and to be open and to be loving and to be caring. Well, love is it, isn't it? Love is the irresistible force. It's the thing that all people want either to heal from or to be part of. Everything else is just like window dressing trying to get there. A spirit can be a ghost, someone who's crossed over but still attached to the earth plane for some reason. It appears as though the energy exchange between the nerve cells in the brain may actually be quantum energy, not mundane electrical energy, which is what most of our body runs on. I believe we don't have a soulmate, we have soulmates. There's more than one lid for our jar in this lifetime. Well, an entity can be, I think, anything that has consciousness but exists as energy. Well, because I think in the ethereal plane, animals are very conscious. They're very in the now. They do not have a big concept of past or future. They are very sensitive. Most animals see auras and energy all the time. And for me, it works the same way. It really kind of is, they pull pictures from my life and experience that I can relate to, and then I know I'm supposed to interpret those for the person I'm reading for. They don't always give me complete information. I'd love it if they did. God, it would make it so much easier.